Hello viewers, I am Dr. Wazida Rahman. Today we will discuss the very interesting and trending issue of same-sex marriage and its implications for our country. The main objective of this module are to know about the concept of homosexuality, to know about the impact of homosexuality in India, to know about the legality of homosexuality, to propose some suggestions to resolve the uncertainty. Let's introduce the topic. The most important and fundamental institution in human civilization has always been marriage. It has always existed in some form or another in every culture, giving social approval for a man and woman's mental and physical union, and setting the stage for the creation of the family, which is the basic unit of society. In society, marriage has several functions, including regulating sexual behavior, reproduction, nutrition, child protection, socialization, consumerism, and ensuring the survival of the race. The legal definition of marriage and the majority of cultural norms only consider heterosexual couples. Persons who identify as queer, transgender, and non-binary are not taken into consideration in this marriage. Even the borders of the sexuality are fairly rigid. For instance, only cisgender people are allowed to marry. On September 6, 2018, the LGBT community in India won their battle to legalize consensual sex between people of the same sex. In the famous case of Navdev Singh Johar versus Union of India, the Honorable Supreme Court invalidated Section 377 of the Penal Code 1860, which criminalized homosexuality by removing voluntary carnal intercourse from its purview. As a result, homosexuality is no longer prohibited. At the central government's request, the Supreme Court examined the legality of Section 377 of the Penal Code 1860 rather than the issue of recognizing the civil rights of the LGBT population. The Supreme Court also evaluated the rights of the transgender community. However, in the case of Supriyo versus Union of India, a petition brought the matter before the Supreme Court once again, and the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, the Foreign Marriage Act 1969, and Special Marriage Act 1954 have all been contested to the extent that they do not provide for registration or recognition of same-sex marriage, thereby violating Articles 14, 15 subclause 1, 19, 1A and 21 of the Constitution of India. The Supreme Court of India has been hearing a number of applications since April 18, 2023, which has generated significant media interest. The constitutional bench of the Supreme Court of India is made up of Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justices S.K. Kaul, Ravinder Bhatt, Hima Kohli, and P.S. Narasimha. Despite the hearing of the petitions, it has not yet reached a ruling. Now we will discuss the homosexuality and the marriage. The concept of gender identity describes each person's individual sense of gender, which may or may not correspond to the sex given at birth. It also encompasses other gender-specific manifestations like clothes, voice, and mannerism, as well as the person's awareness of their own body, which may entail voluntarily selected adjustment to their biological functions or appearance. So, a person's self-definition as a man, woman, transgender, or another specific category is their gender identity. A person's persistent emotional, romantic, and or physical attraction to another person is described as their sexual orientation. In contrast, gay, bisexual, heterosexual, or asexual individuals who are transgender or gender variant may or may not experience a change in their sexual orientation during or after gender transmission. Gender identity and sexual orientation are two different concepts, as previously mentioned. Each person's self-defined sexual orientation and gender identity are integral parts of their personality and one of the most fundamental elements of self-determination, dignity, and freedom. Therefore, no one shall be required to undergo medical procedures including sex reassignment surgeries, that is SRS, sterilization, or hormonal therapy as a requirement for the legal recognition of their gender identity. Michael Kirby, a former judge of High Court of Australia, gave the following useful explanation of LGBT. Homosexuals are those of any gender who have an emotional, physical, and romantic attraction to those of the same sex. Men and women who are drawn to both sexes are referred to as bisexuals. A woman who is attracted to other women is a lesbian. Gay men who are drawn to men, but the word is also used to describe anybody who is drawn to a person of the same sex. This identity may exist regardless of the conformity or non-conformity between a person's psychological sex and how they express it via their physical traits, appearance, and behavior. Intersex refers to people who are born with genetic or physical characteristics that do not visibly fall on one side or the other of a binary male-female line. They are identified as Hijra, Kothi, or by different names in Indian subcontinent. Gender identity is a phenomenon separate from sexual orientation. It is used in recognition of the fact that some men and women may engage in sexual behaviors with the same sex in some countries, such as India, even though they do not acknowledge homosexuality. Now we will discuss some historical perspective on homosexuality in India. From ancient epics and scriptures through medieval literature, poetry, art, and architecture, queerness can be seen throughout Indian history. According to the Ramayana of Valmiki, Lord Hanuman witnessed Rakshasa ladies caressing and cuddling women as they travelling back from Lanka after seeing goddess Sita. Shikandi, the person who killed Devarath Vrishma, is mentioned in the Mahabharata. She was King Draupad's daughter from birth, but she was raised as a man, and later in life she was held by a Yaksha who changed into a man to fight Bhishma on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Lord Shiva also fell in love with Mohini after seeing her, and as a result of their union, Lord Ayappa was born. The Matsya Purana contains a fascinating tale of Lord Vishnu changing into the lovely woman Mohini. The story of Varun and Mitra, also known as Mitra Varun, is mentioned in the Rig Veda. They are a same-sex pair who are said to symbolize the moon's two parts. Vatsyayana explores homosexuality, oral sexual practices known as Auparisatka, and sexual behavior among transgender people in chapter 9 of Kama Sutra. Although they are forbidden, same-sex relationships are referenced in other Hindu mythical works, including the Narada Puran, Manusmriti, and Arthashastra, where the punishment for such conduct is laid down. Regardless, this confirms the presence of homosexuality at the time. In addition to the literary evidence, homosexuality in India has left a great deal of visual evidence throughout the country's history, including artworks, paintings, and sculptures. In the temples of Tanjore and Puri, there are explicit representation of homosexual couples, while the Rajrani temple in Bhubaneswar has a monument of two women engaging in intimacy. In the paintings and sculptures found in the Buddhist monastery cave of Ajanta and Ellora, the life of Gautam Buddha is depicted. A significant distinction is that some of the Buddha's paintings also feature romantic and sensual subjects in which men and women are shown intimated with the same sex. So now we will discuss the position of other countries. The first nations to legalize same-sex marriages were the Netherlands and Belgium. Altogether, 34 countries now recognize and legalize same-sex unions. In 22 countries, same-sex marriage has been legalized by national legislations. Position in the United States of America. According to US Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, same-sex unions have been documented since 1867 AD. However, they were only made legal by the Supreme Court in 2000. In the case of Obergefell versus Hughes, Director, Ohio Department of Health, the Supreme Court of United States made a significant and historic decision that legalized same-sex partnerships. The US legalization of same-sex partnership was a significant turning point for LGBTQIA+ rights. Position in England and Wales. On July 17, 2013, Queen Elizabeth II gave her royal assent to a measure allowing same-sex marriage in England and Wales. The law only applies to England and Wales because Scotland and Northern Ireland are semi-autonomous and have different legislative bodies to decide on many domestic issues, including the definition of marriage. In February 2014, the Scottish Parliament adopted a law allowing same-sex unions. In April 2014, the Northern Ireland Assembly also passed a resolution in favor of same-sex marriage. Now, what is the position in India? Many activists claim that most LGBTQ+ people are afraid to come out even to their friends and family, and those attacks on same-sex couples frequently make news despite the fact that attitudes around sex and sexuality have changed. Therefore, there is a lot of interest in what the highest court decides, since a positive outcome would make India legalize marriage between two homosexual adults. Prohibition of forced marriage and decency. According to Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, the right to marry the person of one's choice has been recognized as a part of the right to life and liberty. In the case of Common Cause versus Union of India, the Constitution Bench of Honorable Supreme Court decided that the foundation of our autonomy as individuals is our capacity to freely choose who to love, partner with, and make countless other significant and minute decisions about our daily lives. In addition, the Honorable Supreme Court stated in Puttaswamy versus Union of India that the pursuit of liberty, equality for all people, and the dignity of the person are the three pillars of the Indian Constitution. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution states that the freedom to make decisions regarding family, marriage, procreation, and other similar matters is guaranteed. Now, right to equality. In the case of Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India, the constitutional bench declared Section 377 of Indian Penal Code 1860 to be unconstitutional. The court stated that Section 377's penalty for consenting to homosexual conduct is plainly arbitrary in the light of Article 14. Furthermore, it would be clearly cruel and unjust to sentence such individuals to life imprisonment, which amounts to a violation of Article 14 and 21 of the Constitution. Article 14 of the Indian Constitution states that gay minorities have a right to equal opportunity to achieve and develop their human potential as well as their social, economic, and legal interests. However, these are regarded as non-achievable rights when same-sex marriages are not recognized in the country. Therefore, classifying homosexual married couples and heterosexual married couples based on the sexual orientation of the spouses is against Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. Now, sexual orientation and gender-based offences. According to the Supreme Court in National Legal Services Authority versus Union of India, biological traits and gender identity are now included in the definition of sex for the purposes of Article 15 of Indian Constitution. In Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India, the constitutional bench of the Honorable Supreme Court determined that the more inclusive definition of sex under Article 15 includes sexual orientation and that it is illegal to discriminate either directly or indirectly on the basis of sex. Now, freedom of speech and expression. Again, in Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India, it was also ruled that Section 377 of Indian Penal Code 1860 violates Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution to the extent that it unfairly restricts the freedom of expression of LGBT+ individuals. The decisions of the Supreme Court's 9 judges in this case laid the groundwork for this freedom. Again, in the case of Shafin Jahan versus Asokan K.M. and others, the Honorable Supreme Court observed that the right to make decisions that affect one's identity and personality is acknowledged as part of freedom and autonomy in the Constitution. The state or the law may not impose restrictions on an individual's freedom to choose their marital partner and religion. Now we will discuss the present circumstances. On November 14, 2022, two same-sex couples petitioned the Supreme Court to recognize same-sex weddings in India. That is the Suprio versus Union of India. The petitions, which were placed on legality, concerned the Special Marriage Act of 1954. According to the petitioners, Section 4, Subclause C of the Act exclusively recognizes marriages between male and female individuals. This discriminates against same-sex couples by denying them marital advantages including adoption, surrogacy, employment and retirement benefits. The petitioners asked the court to declare Section 4 Subclause C of the Act unlawful. The petition includes connections to many others that raise related issues with different personal laws. There are two other laws that are also being contested, that is the Foreign Marriage Act of 1969 and the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955. The petitioners contend that the prohibition on same-sex marriage violates their rights to dignity, equality and freedom of expression. They noted the court decisions in the instances of Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India and Nalsa versus Union of India, which acknowledged non-binary gender identities and granted gay individuals equal rights. On November 25, 2022, a Supreme Court panel comprising Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice Hima Kohli issued an order directing the union to respond to the petitions. A three-judge bench chaired by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and comprising Justices P.S. Narasimha and J.B. Pardiwala moved 9 pending cases connected to similar issues from the Delhi and Kerala High Courts to itself. On March 13, 2023, a three-judge panel led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud referred the case to a 5-judge constitution bench. On April 18, 2023, this bench first heard the case. The Supreme Court had a lengthy hearing over 10 days to discuss the subject of legalizing same-sex unions as well as the social and legal difficulties brought up by these petitions. Dear student, now we come to the conclusion of this lecture. In the 20th century, homosexuality was the subject of substantially more study and discussion in Western nations. The most common theory was that it was a disease or mental disorder. However, the current debate over same-sex marriage in the international community is drawing attention to the crucial fact that marriage, whether it be cross-sex or same-sex, is based on love, commitment and companionship, of which sexual desire is just one aspect. It is required to highlight the importance of equality and human rights through the acceptance of same-sex marriage. Equal access to the institution of marriage and the benefits it offers for everyone, regardless of sexual orientation, is a matter of basic rights and ought to be made legal. It promotes variety, societal acceptance, and a more just society. It should also emphasize the challenges and divergent viewpoints surrounding the approval of same-sex partnership. Cultural and religious beliefs, concerns for the stability of the family and society, issues with parental rights and religious liberty, and many other things have been raised as objections to its legalization. Even if there are alternative options like registered partnerships and civil unions, they do not provide the same degree of protection and legitimacy as marriage. Although they might be employed as band-aid measures, these options do not completely provide equality for same-sex couples. India is moving closer to legalizing same-sex unions in light of altering societal attitudes, the expanding legal systems, and international precedents. This will promote societal acceptance and inclusion, safeguard the rights and welfare of LGBTQ+ individuals, and be consistent with international human rights standards. In order to do this, it is critical to continue engaging in public dialogue, educating the populace, and fostering communication among many stakeholders, including politicians, religious organizations, and civil society organizations. Education and awareness initiatives are essential to dispel falsehoods, address biases, and create a more accepting environment for LGBTQ+ people. The legalization of same-sex marriage in India would be a significant step towards achieving equality, non-discrimination, and social advancement, putting the finishing touches of the concept of justice, decency, and inclusion for all individuals regardless of their sexual orientation. That's all for today's lecture. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you very much.